Let me ask you a question. Have you ever stopped and wondered whether the values you live by are actually yours? Not your parents, not your churches, not your cultures, yours. Because most people never ask that question. They inherit a moral code the same way they inherit a last name, and then they spend the rest of their lives defending beliefs they never consciously chose. Actulint believes that's a dangerous way to live. Most people want certainty. They want someone else to tell them what's right, what's wrong, what's acceptable, and what's forbidden, because creating your own moral framework is difficult. Creating your own moral code requires thought, responsibility, lived experiences, and perhaps most importantly, the willingness to stand alone. But here's the problem. If your morality only exists because someone gave it to you, is it really yours? Or are you simply following instructions? This is where political strategist Niccolo Machiavelli becomes uncomfortable. Most people misunderstand him, thinking that he advocated evil. He didn't. He advocated reality. Machiavelli understood something that most moral systems try to ignore. People are not purely good. People have competing interests, seek advantage, and pursue power. And pretending otherwise doesn't make it disappear. It simply blinds you. Machiavelli forces us to confront a difficult truth that morality disconnected from reality eventually becomes a liability. Then comes eminent psychologist Carl Jung. Jung believed every person possesses a shadow. Not a supernatural shadow, but a psychological one. The hidden parts of ourselves we don't want to acknowledge, like ambition, envy, aggression, manipulation, and yes, self-interest. Most people suppress these traits and pretend they don't exist. Jung warned that this is dangerous because what remains unconscious controls you from the shadows. The person who claims they are incapable of manipulation is often the easiest person to manipulate. The person who denies their aggression often becomes controlled by it. Actulint believes something profound happens when Machiavelli and Jung are combined. Machiavelli teaches you to see reality clearly. Jung teaches you to see yourself clearly. One exposes the world, the other exposes you. And together they create something rare, self-awareness, without illusion. So how do you create your own moral code? You begin by asking difficult questions such as, what values produce strength? What values produce weakness? What values help me build a meaningful life? What values am I following simply because I inherited them? And perhaps most importantly, what parts of myself am I pretending do not exist? Because you cannot govern what you refuse to acknowledge. Actulint does not teach people to eliminate their darkness. It teaches them to integrate it. The goal is not to become harmless, but to become conscious. A conscious person understands their capacity for manipulation and chooses restraint. A conscious person understands their ambition and directs it productively. A conscious person understands their aggression and channels it toward discipline and protection. Actual strength is not living in denial or delusion, but accepting every aspect of who you are, the good and the bad. Borrowed morality creates followers who serve the needs of the professed leader. Self-created morality creates individuals who can think and live for themselves. Machiavelli teaches you to understand power. Jung teaches you to understand yourself. Actulint teaches you to do both. Because the strongest moral code is not the one you inherited, it is the one you consciously built. And the only question that matters is, are you living by your values or someone else's?